This is going to be a comprehensive, in-depth, best-of list of all the best developed campgrounds to stay at in Capitol Reef National Park. There's one, actually. So the National Park Service likes to keep it simple. It's Fruita Campground, and it's about a mile past the visitor center. You'll drive by the Gifford House on the right, which has very famous pies and cinnamon rolls every day. And there's beautiful orchards. It's surprisingly lush and green here, which is an interesting contrast to the very harsh, arid desert landscape of the rest of Capitol Reef and this area of Utah in general. So about a mile past the visitor center, you're going to turn in here. The campground is full today, as it is most days in the summer. This is mid-July. This is a tiny information center right there where you can pay when you get here if you haven't made a reservation, although I would highly recommend going on recreation.gov and making a reservation there. And then you've got three different loops. There's the C loop, which is not included here, and then this is the A and B loop, which are very similar. The campground host actually is here on the right. And then all of the other campsites within the loops are pretty much identical. So you can see here, there's a picnic table, a double parking site, so there's plenty of parking for two vehicles or a camper and a vehicle, let's say like a travel trailer. And then you've got either a grill slash fire pit or a picnic table. And the picnic tables are quite large. They're probably, I would say they seat anywhere between 8 to 10 people, I guess depending on how big you are. And then if you see this sign here, the Gifford House is only a short, 265 feet walk according to that sign. Then there's a picnic area, a blacksmith shop, and the visitor center, and those are all within about a mile. So it's a pretty short walk. And then if we just continue around here, you see all the different campsites with the double parking spots, picnic tables, large fire rings. I would say they're double the size of most standard campgrounds. And so this is A loop. You can see here, this site is pretty deep with a large fifth wheel and a pickup truck, and it fits them both pretty nicely. And then I'll continue around to B loop, which is very similar. It's a little bit larger than that loop. There is a potable water station here because there is no water service or electrical hookups or septic at any of the sites anywhere. But there is a dump station here as well, and then you can see that this man's emptying his recycle, and then there's plenty of dumpsters as well. There's an extra pit toilet right there, National Park style. And then this is the one-way road around B loop, and the sites here look very similar to A loop. You can see they're all pretty full. It's a pretty good mix of campers with travel trailers and drivable RVs and tent campers. The bathhouse is right there on the left. I think there's probably about a handful of bathhouses between the loops, and they're clean. There's no showers, but they are clean and well stocked. You can see here the Fremont River Trail, so there's actually hiking trails that leave right from the campground. So the bathhouses are clean, well stocked, a little bit dated, but in pretty good condition overall. The only thing they don't have is showers. So there's no showers anywhere on the property. So that's something to consider if you're planning to stay here. Lots of shade here, lots of old growth trees. I would say, like I said, it's surprisingly lush and green, especially compared to everywhere else around here. You're probably going to get throughout the day 80 to 90% shade coverage on any site that you choose. Some of them are fully shaded. So even in the height of summer, you know, I got here yesterday around dinner time, and I would say it was probably 90 degrees, and then later on in the day it cooled off quite a bit. And at night, with the shade and a little bit of light breeze, it was very, very comfortable to sleep, even in the middle of summer. So that's A and B loop. We'll head on over to C loop of Fruita Campground. And as you can expect, the roads in and out are obviously very well paved, very well maintained. And actually, these are some of the tent-only sites for A and B loop. So yeah, the roads are in really good shape. You can get pretty much any size RV or travel trailer down here with no problem. This is the turnoff for C loop. Look at all the trees. Lots of fruit trees, lots of you pick fruit areas around here, and I think most of them are actually free, if I'm not mistaken. So this is C loop. Kind of more of the same. There are dump stations, trash, recycle stations there. There's another small information center right there for making a reservation, or I guess booking yourself in if you haven't made a reservation online, which again I would highly recommend. So this is a one-way loop, and you can see off in the distance, you know, they got pretty good views of the rock faces that Capitol Reef and Capitol Reef and Utah, this area of Utah in general, are famous for. Some really cool views. A lot of old growth trees here too, so tons of shade on this and all three loops. And then like this spot here is kind of unique. Look how much sun there is there. And this loop actually connects, you can see a footpath here. This loop actually connects with A and B loop. You can't drive between the two, but you can walk there. So if you happen to have, you know, families staying between the different loops, you couldn't get sites in the same loop, whatever the case may be, you can kind of easily get back and forth between each other. And then this is a good shot of the bathhouse. This is a little bit different than the ones in A and B loop, which I think are a little bit older. This looks a little bit newer to me. There's a gray water disposal station slash wash basin for like dishes and things like that. And then inside, obviously you've got men's, women's restrooms, and again, there's no showers here either. It's only sinks. But they are very clean and well stocked. There was always toilet paper and soap and all that in every time that I went. So more of the same types of sites, very shaded. Every site again has a large picnic table and a large fire ring. It's very quiet here throughout the day, even with it being very full in the height of summer. It was very quiet. Just trying to let these people go. So it was very quiet here, even in the height of summer. And then at night, I mean, after the sun went down, you could hear a pin drop. It was extremely quiet. So that's it. That is C loop. So this one actually, yeah, you can see this fruit stand is apricots, and there's a sign there that tells you that the orchard is open, and they're $2 a pound, and they actually have ladders on site too. You can just, they're free to use. You can grab them and take them and kind of pick as you please. And there's a scale there, and then there's an honor system box for leaving your payment for your fruit. And then there's a group campsite down there as well, which is significantly larger, obviously, than the other ones I've shown. So that's Fruita Campground in a nutshell. It's the only developed campground in all of Capitol Reef. So if you want something that's a little bit more than completely roughing it, like at Cathedral Valley, which I also have a review on, this is it. There's more places in town, in Torrey. There's plenty of campgrounds there that will take RVs that are full service, and they're obviously a lot more developed and they have a lot more amenities and features, but you are about a 15-minute drive from the visitor center here, which, you know, no big deal, but it is what it is. It just kind of depends on what you want. But I really enjoyed my one-night stay. I'd highly recommend it, and it's also very cheap. It was only $30 a night for the site that I got. It was actually, the campground was completely booked when I had first started looking at it about a month ago because of the season, and I just kept at it. I kept every other day or so, I would just go on and check and see if there were any cancellations. And this time of year, there are actually quite a few. So if you're diligent about it and you check on a regular basis, sometimes the site will open up. It may only be for a night or two, but if that's all you need, then it might work out. So I highly recommend it. It's great value, perfect location. It's extremely quiet. There's plenty to do here for families and for people like me that are just solo camping and just want to see the park. I mean, you can't get a better location. It's convenient to everything here. So that about wraps this up, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Oh dear.